Hello, and welcome to the Handyman Stan YouTube channel. I am Stan, and today I've got a big project, but first, before I get to that, I need to make some stops, clean out my truck, and get over there. I will actually be repainting a driveway, so this should be fun. Let's head out to the Jeep and get it cleaned out. Well, I got most of the stuff cleaned out of the Jeep here, so we are headed to Harbor Freight to get a power washer, and then to Home Depot to get a sander, because we're going to sand the cement. Today is turning out to be interesting already. I started out and I forgot my gift cards to Harbor Freight, my money for Harbor Freight, so I had to double back, go home, grab them. And then I went to the location in San Jose, and when I checked the website, they had the one that I wanted. They don't have the one I want. So now I've got to drive to Fremont, half an hour in the other direction, and pick up the one that I want. They verified that they have it on hold for me. Awesome. And then I got to turn around and head to the client. Actually, I got to hit Home Depot and get the sander. I made it to Harbor Freight and got the pressure washer that I wanted. Bonus there. So now I'm headed to Home Depot to rent a sander. And then I got to stop and get gas for the power washer too. So, all kinds of fun stuff. Lots of running around. It is now 9:30. I told the client that I would be there about 9, so I've emailed the client because that's how we're keeping in touch and letting them know it'll probably be closer to 11 before I get there at this point because I'm having to run around and get supplies. Alright, sander acquired. It's a little crazy. The guy at Home Depot got on to this sander trip, a big disc sander, and he had me looking all over California for one because they had the sander, they didn't have the disc, and I'm like, no, I'm looking for a random orbit sander, that thing over there. And he's like, oh yeah, that'll work for you. Yeah, that's what that thing's made for. I was like, that's what I came in for, that's what I asked for. I showed you the picture of it. But anyway, you know, yeah, dude works 2 jobs. He's at Home Depot, but he works at Nike. He gets good discount on shoes. I know his life story now. Nice guy. But bottom line, took me a little extra time there to get the item that I went to get. It's alright. Also got some paint supplies, rollers, that kind of stuff. And it's 10:30, and I'm off to the client, so I should be able to get there before I thought I would in all of this bouncing around. So everything's working out all right. I'm here at the client's house, and I've got the random orbital sander ready to go, and just need to sand this driveway, a walkway around to the side, and a deck kind of area over there. Then we're going to pressure wash and go from there. So, time to have some fun. Here's where I'm at. I have done down and around, and I got some pads to go with this, but the pads that they sold me were the wrong ones. And now I've got to the point where there's no more sandpaper left. So I need to run back down to Home Depot and get some more sandpaper. I've been running around like crazy here. I went to the Home Depot closest to the client, which is a tiny Home Depot. They didn't have what I needed. They didn't have a rental center, so that didn't help. So then I also grabbed lunch and went to the next Home Depot, which is another 20 minutes away, and picked up some actual proper sanding pads, because they had the ones, the original one, they gave me the wrong sanding pads. So he gave me the proper sanding pads, and I showed him this disc is falling off, And so he gave me 3 new discs for the sander, so the pads will attach. And the ring that the pads attach to, because I think what happened is the last person, the sandpaper fell off, and then they just kept going because the pad doesn't attach to it. So, got everything I need now. This has ended up being about almost 2 hours out of my day here, just trying to get all these parts and get everything together. And so, it's frustrating. I'm not going to charge the client for faulty materials or faulty machines, so I've only got about an hour's worth of work done today, and it is now, I think, 1:30, almost 2 o'clock. It's going to be 2 o'clock before I get back to the client. So this is going to be a really short day, but I wasn't supposed to work this job today originally. Today freed up. I was supposed to do it Thursday, Friday. Now it looks like it may float into Saturday with everything that's going on here. But I'm going to get it done. Customer's going to get charged fairly. And bottom line, I am having fun. You know, it's still a good day. Could be better, but it's still a good day. It's beautiful. It's sunny. It's warm. I'm feeling pretty good. My back's still a little iffy from yesterday, but still feeling good. So now I have to repair their tool that I'm renting. I've got it fixed back up. Looks like it's in new shape, so now we get back to work. Now that I've got the driveway done, now I've got this bit of walkway here and the deck and up to the door to do. Alright, sanding is done. But now I need to pressure wash. I am too late to return the sander for a day rental. It's a 4-hour rental, so this is going to be a day rental. Missed it by about 2 hours. Oh well, it is what it is. I was just going to keep going and just return it at the end of the night. But 2 things, the way the day is going. I bought the primer and the paint supplies and had the sander with me. Walked out of the store with everything but the primer. So I didn't get that, so I'm going to go back and beg them and plead and show them my receipt and go, it was still here at the cash wrap. And then on top of that, I don't have oil for the pressure washer. So Home Depot does sell some auto supplies, so hopefully they have some oil to go into the pressure washer. Alright, off to Home Depot again. I went in, and as I'm going in to bring the tool, that sander back in, it just falls apart. Like, latches pop off, handle falls, it just falls apart. Fortunately, they took pity on me. They actually gave me a discount on the rental, so that was nice, so I didn't pay the full day rental. Sweet. And then I went over to the pro desk, and I says, I loaded up my stuff, and I didn't walk out with the primer. The woman kind of looked at me like, yeah, we found it, but we put it back, so go grab it. If anybody gives you any issues, just tell them that you already worked through the pro desk. So I didn't have to buy another thing of primer. Yay! Oh, and then I walk out of the store, get to the car, climb in and realize I didn't get the engine oil. So I walked back, got to the aisle where the engine oil was, and there's a dude on a forklift with the aisle closed off. So I kind of had to wave him down, and he finally came down and let me come in, grab my engine oil. And so today has been an adventure. But that's life. Life is an adventure. You know, you can't let things like this bring you down. Otherwise, you're down. And I'm tired of being down. And so I'm just going to smile through it, keep going. Turns out my partner has some work that she's having to do tonight, and so we're not going to be able to do dinner at our normal time anyways. So I'm good. I can go back, I can pressure wash, and then meet up for a late dinner. So back to the client's house again. And we're back at the client's house. And we got the big gun. And so now it's time to power wash the driveway. Well, let's call this a learning day. I had it back here before I moved it over here to take a picture of it, and it was running. It tipped back a little bit and stalled. So I basically flooded the engine. And now, did this, now it won't start. Wash the whole thing. I'm going to add a little bit of detergent, and I'm going to do it again, so in that way I really get this area clean. It's about 8 o'clock at night, and I have finished power washing. I did power wash the sidewalk and the ramp of the driveway. They were yellow and black and just was grungy, and I just want to make it look nice for the client. So I'm not going to be staining that tomorrow, but that just didn't look good, so I took care of that. Tomorrow I am back here, and we're going to put a primer on this, and then maybe on Friday we'll actually be doing the stain. Good morning. We are here on Thursday morning now, and today's plan is to head back over to the house that I was at yesterday, and I am going to prime the driveway and walkway. I need to get that done early because they have their gardener coming over at 3 o'clock, and he needs to do his thing. And there's nothing that says how long it is before you can walk on this, but it does say you can't paint it until 4 hours. And so I'm going to use that as the walk-on time as well, which means I need to get it done about by 11 a.m. if at all possible. So I'm going to head over there soon. I am laid out for my breakfast, got my blood pressure cuff and my medicines and stuff like that. And my breakfast laid out here, so I'm going to have that. The cool thing is I got a message from my doctor yesterday. Because of the clinical trial that I'm in, or whatever reasons, my liver function spiked a while back, and so they put me on prednisone. And now I'm stepping off of the prednisone. So today I'm going down another step, which is good and bad. It's good because I don't like to take meds unless I have to. I just try as much as I can to let my body take care of itself, and do things through food and we'll call it holistic approaches, because there's so many side effects to medicines, and that's the downfall of this is the prednisone.
changes my ability to reach my calm. Yesterday was a struggle, and also I'm gaining weight and stuff like that. So I want to get off of that as soon as possible. So stepping down today a little bit more, and I should be off of it by mid next month. And I also have a phone call this morning with my primary care to just talk general stuff as well. I'm a little worried about my blood pressure. I'm on some meds for it. But anyhow, that's all other stuff. We want to get to the handyman stuff. But before we do that, I need to have breakfast and walk the dog, and feed her as well, and then get to work.
I am back here at the client's house, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a junk paintbrush here and go along the edges and the front and kind of inside the cracks, get this primed, and then I'll come back through with a roller and roll the open areas. Primed that side of the driveway. This triangle here I've left unprimed so the client can actually come and go, and I think it's good. I'm going to leave this for the day to set. They do have a gardener that's coming later in the day, and it should be fully dried by the time the gardener gets here and shouldn't have too much of an issue. And then tomorrow I will prime this section and then start painting in the same order as well, and so in that way this can sit for 4 hours and then paint this as well. Right now I'm gonna head home and start getting ready for my blood draw. The nurse is gonna come over today and we're gonna do more blood work because it's Thursday. So it's blood draw time again. I'm all set up, and I won't do this every week, won't subject you guys to this, but just wanted to show you, it is twice a week that we do the blood draw, and this is Thursday, and so there are a lot more vials on Thursdays. They also take, we'll just call it other fluids. They're tracking to see where the medication, I'll call it, because it's trial, I'm keeping it as vague as possible. They're tracking where the medication goes. And so it did stop showing up in my urine, but they need just about everything else. So that makes it entertaining. This one here I get to spit into, so that's not as gross. Kind of still is, but yeah. So this is my life, and from time to time I have to go up to the hospital to do this, but fortunately most of the time my nurse is here to do that. All right, and with that I will pick you up in the morning. Good morning. It is Friday, and I am getting my day started. It's about 7 a.m. at this point. I did get started a little early. Had a rough evening. I usually won't share much on religion or politics on this channel, but the priest that I grew up with and really formed me in my formation and challenged me to consider religious life passed away day before yesterday, and I found out
yesterday, and it kind of rocked me. Yeah. So today I move into my day with a heavy heart, but he was a good man. The best word I could use to describe him was humble, and I aspire to be a lot of things that he was. So one of the things that he was persistent, and so I will carry that on today and get back to work and do what needs to be done. So I just finished up breakfast and my morning routine that you've been followed on the channel here so far. But yeah, gonna get going and head off to do the driveway. Let's get to it. I'm back here at the client's house, and the next steps is I'm actually going to get my vacuum cleaner and try to blow off some of the leaves that have fallen on the driveway overnight. And then I am going to prime this area, and then I'm going to start over on the porch with the new stain and work my way this way. Hopefully this takes about 4 hours to dry. It's don't apply before 4 hours. So by the time I get here, hopefully that side will be dry, and then we can keep going. Time to move to paint. Gonna paint the deck here, and I'm gonna start with edging and then fill in with the roller, kind of like I did with the primer. There's still a little bit of water in this crack here, and so I need to get that out so it doesn't dilute the paint. Next thing on the list is to work on this section here, and then maybe take a lunch break and then work that way. It is coming along nicely. I'm liking how the paint is laying down and sticking and staying. It's coming along really good. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the border with the roller, and then I'm going to go back through with the paintbrush and fill in the cracks and fill in the holes. I'm going to leave this triangle for a little bit longer to dry, but I'm going to do the rest of the area. Coat down on some of this, and I've gone around, as you can see, on the borders, but I'm out. So I need to run down to Home Depot, get another can of this. Not a problem, because it's also about lunchtime, so I'm gonna swing in, grab some lunch, and then finish this off this afternoon. So far, I'm liking how it applies, I'm liking how it looks. And we're back. I brought the blower with me. I stopped and picked this up because things are blowing up on here and I need to get them off because I don't want to paint over them. So got that, get to take care of this.
my fingers. Here we go. So there's just a few spots I've seen already that need some touch-up, so I'm going to hit those up over here, let that dry, and I'll probably come back tomorrow just briefly to double check it and see if there's any last touch-ups that need to be done. Okay, not too bad, so I'm going to let this dry, and we'll probably pop back tomorrow. Tomorrow I do have to get up and come back. The deck, the first area that I painted, I'm not happy with, and the client is like, well, it's okay, but you're kind of right. I kind of had them look at it and I kept my mouth shut, and they're like, yeah, it kind of looks like it went on kind of thin up here. I'm like, yeah, how do you feel about that? And they're like, well, yeah, it probably could use a second coat. And I'm like, okay, so we're on the same page. And that's when I shared, I'm like, yeah, I'm not happy with that area of it. And I haven't been able to walk on the driveway area to actually see how the driveway looks. The downfall is I've pretty much used up that can of paint. And so I'm going to need to get another can of paint to do a second coat on the top of there. And so things are just moving along. And so I've got to run out there tomorrow morning and put another coat of paint on there. But that's okay. It is what it is. The bottom line is we want it to look good, and it's looking pretty good. I'm pleased with it. It's just the temperature and the breeze. The cement is just soaking in the paint and drying it out faster than I could spread it. But it's all good. So I think I'm just going to pick you up in the morning as I head over, or pick you up in the morning. It's the next morning, and I'm back here. Been walking through. This does need a second coat, so I'm going to go through. Fortunately, it should go much faster, and so I'm just going to get a nice second coat on here, let it dry, and then we should be good to go. So we're just going to get that started. Let's get to it. Well, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this follow me through a project. Click like, that always helps out. Go ahead and click subscribe, and join me on the next video. Also comment down below. I'd appreciate to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching. It's nice hanging out with you, and I will see you on the next one.